That's the whole Vanderpump issue too now, is that did the girl punch her after Watch What Happens Live?
Oh my God.
So like she's taken out a restraining order, but then people are like, no, the photos were like from the fall, and she kind of always had a black thing under her.
So it's like black eye drama?
Exactly. And then I said on Twitter, I was like, doesn't this seem like too much black eye drama for
one station, for
Bravo, in like such a small space of time? Like get a new injury.
Yeah.
Like, why is everybody going for the eyes? Hi, this is Caitlin.
And this is Sharon.
And welcome to Real Housewives on Real Housewives, where we unravel housewives' story threads and keep the tea flowing.
So chic.
Hold on to your snowflakes.
This is episode 12, and we're talking Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 3's Meredith Marks.
So our two verses are Meredith versus Lisa, and Meredith versus her total support of Jen Shah.
Yeah. So, a little background, Meredith Marks, or as we refer to her, the mother of fashion designer Brooks Marks.
That's right.
That's who she is to us.
Yep.
She's a Chicago native. She worked as a model when younger. She's beautiful, actually.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. She has an MBA and a law degree.
It's pretty fancy.
Yeah. She worked in real estate development, had a health club, and later the jewelry line and store that we saw on the show. Mm-hmm. She's married to Seth Marks. We all know him. They have 3 kids. She roasted recently a pig with all 3 kids. We've never seen the oldest boy.
Yeah.
He was really cute.
He was really cute.
Yeah. And you can check out her Insta. And you can check out our Instagram.
Yes.
It's RH_on_RH. Same for Twitter. Meredith and Seth met when she was 23. They married a year later, first baby at 25.
That's pretty young.
And that first season, remember, they separated on the show, and then they got back together. Seth is kind of weird. He's kind of creepy, kind of funny.
Yeah.
I like him.
Me too.
Even though I think maybe
that
most
first
people think
season
he's
I
too
wasn't
creepy.
sure.
Like, overall, I can kind of see how he and Meredith interact together,
Yes.
and I think they have fun together. So.
And I think like reading that where they met at 23 married, it's like they've been together so long that honestly the separation makes a little more sense now too, because it was kind of like, I don't get it, I don't understand.
Yeah.
People were like, what? I'm shocked. But when you think about how long they've been together and having a baby so young, it's like I can kind of see that now. But like first, can we talk about the biggest outrage of the season?
What's that?
Well, regarding Meredith. Okay, her tagline. So it's, when I take a shot, I always hit my mark. But her name isn't Meredith Mark, it's Meredith Marks. So why isn't it, when I take my shot, I always hit my marks? Wouldn't that make more sense?
It would. You're right, because it would still be right.
Exactly. It doesn't sound bad. It just makes sense.
When I take shots, I always hit my marks.
Because otherwise it'd be like, that's not your name. Like, I mean, maybe they like workshopped both and it just didn't work. But I find it weird because I think it's super clever.
Uh-huh.
But then you just ruin it. It's like, just if you take off the letter of your name, it's not funny anymore.
Well, it never bothered me before, so
it bothers me every episode.
Because I always thought that was a good one. When I take a shot,
I think it's a great
I liked it.
I always hit my marks.
I guess they could maybe they can edit in a
guys, I will film it.
I'll mail it to you at clip up.
Really, calm down, lady. Okay, so our first one is Meredith versus Lisa.
Yeah.
This is a hard one because I liked them as friends, so it bums me out.
Me too. So we all remember the hot mic moment at the end of the last season where Lisa called Meredith some nasty, loose lady names.
Exactly.
Yeah, Lisa had her mic on and she went off on this rant. And
we kind of printed it out to look at it.
Yeah,
and it was so much worse.
We wanted to read it, but we try not to use bad language on this podcast.
Yeah, we don't want your kids repeating that.
It's got a lot of good 4-letter words in there.
A lot.
And 5-letter words.
Just a lot of
just a lot of words.
I mean, Meredith had a lot to deal with, I feel like. So maybe it's not just the hot mic moment, because she does say it wasn't just a hot mic moment. Like, I was also dealing with my dad dying, and that Lisa didn't really reach out to her. Mm-hmm. And we find out later she was dealing with her nephew who was dealing with mental health issues.
And also when her dad was dying, there was that whole stupid thing about the date that he died. And I think that just
Exactly.
Turned her off the whole group.
Mm-hmm, I think so. So there's also later in the season. So in the first episode of the season, Meredith's in the hot tub with Jen. And I love this because Meredith has a swimsuit on and it has like suit, like not swimsuit, but like, you know, like a business suit buttons on it. And it's like, that's so on brand for me. Like only Meredith would be like, do you have a swimsuit that has like business suit buttons? That's kind of my jam.
In a feather.
Yeah, exactly. In a feather. So Meredith, like, this is what she does all season. She's like, I don't spread rumors. Like, I don't talk about people. But she essentially, like, plants the seed and she starts everybody talking. Yeah. So, like, Jen says, well, like, what are we talking about with Lisa? Like, or, like, her marriage and her business? And Meredith's like, that's all fair game. And they kind of, like, hint that Lisa's having an affair. And she alludes to all these things. So you can tell that she still heard about the hot mic moment. Otherwise, she wouldn't be dropping this stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we'll talk about more in depth about those rumors when we do our Lisa episode. So for right now, I think let's just focus on Meredith and the hot mic moment. At the reunion, remember Lisa kind of tries to say, well, you said mean things about my house.
My house was ugly.
Yeah,
or something.
like you said my kitchen renovation wasn't good
God.
or something. It's like, yeah, I don't think those measure out to the same thing. And then they kind of don't come out of the healing ceremony very well in Arizona either. But again, I think we'll deal with that under Lisa.
Yeah.
So Meredith does insinuate a lot of things about Lisa. And then she also says that Lisa hasn't reached out to her in 2 months. And that I did find a little shocking because they were genuinely friends before the show. They have old pictures of them together. Like, I really do think they had a genuine non-show-based friendship.
Yes.
So this hot mic moment is a big deal. And it's like so much happens this season that I almost forgot that was just the end of last season. Like, I almost thought it was 2 seasons ago.
I did too, actually, now that you say that. That was just the end of last season?
Yeah, so it's like, okay, I guess, I guess I can see why she's a little mad. And it feels to her like now Lisa wants to deal with it because the cameras are turned back on.
I have such a hard time because I have always liked Meredith. I think more than other people. Yeah. And I have come to really like Lisa. So I really like them both. Yeah. And when Meredith is like, well, she doesn't reach out to me and she's done this and this behind the scenes. And then Lisa's talks and it's like, I believe them both. I really do believe them both. So I don't know what to think or say.
What's so hard about it. And I don't know, it's interesting to me because I'm such a like, I'm so sorry. Are you mad at me? Is it okay? Like me? That I can't imagine someone like respecting someone's space and sitting on and like an apology or something. Like I would be like singing telegrams to the door. Please tell me you don't hate me. Yeah. But some people people need time to calm down. Like, but I think it's really weird not to reach out behind the scenes because I think you would try to fix it before the cameras came back up.
Definitely.
And then you'd be worried that it would get broken again. Probably when everyone starts talking about it. But, and she also said that, like, she hadn't texted Seth either, I think. I wondered if the husbands were texting or not at all. I kind of feel like, I don't know, do you think they went radio silent too during that time?
I kind of think so. And then they had that awkward interaction this season. Super awkward that they were forced to do.
I felt bad because I think they were genuine friends.
Yeah, too. I felt bad. And I think they were just like, crap.
And like Lisa says that the hot mic moment wasn't hate, it was hurt. And I mean, I'm sure she was annoyed, but those are some pretty rotten things to say about somebody. And I also don't think it's an excuse to say like, well, it was private. I didn't mean for people to hear it. I mean, and I get that.
Well, obviously.
But like, if you're in a house where anyone has a microphone anywhere and you're on a reality show with camera, I think it's one thing if you were in your house with John alone and you said that. It's still pretty awful.
But let's face it, she forgot the cameras were there because she's so into it.
Yeah.
But I don't
know that hurt would make you say such awful things. It's really pent up.
You have to have thought those things at some point.
Exactly.
Right?
I think so too, because she acts like there was just I don't know where that came from. Yeah. And I love Lisa, but it came from somewhere.
Right. But then at the same time, everyone thinks bad things about everyone at some point. You know, like, I don't know. I guess
it's just the sheer volume of it.
Yeah, that's true. Like it went on and on. It wasn't just like one of those things. It was all of those things.
Yeah. She just kept the rant going.
I mean,
and so she just kind of apologized to Seth at Sharif's birthday party.
Yeah.
And that's super awkward and cringy.
Yeah.
And she like says, I wish that Meredith wouldn't throw away a 10-year friendship over one bad moment. Which I do agree.
Yeah, and I agree. And like the one scene I think it was in Arizona after Jen had to leave, and they were all very emotional because, she's going to deal with this huge thing in her life. And Meredith and Lisa hug for a while, and it's like a long hug, and it's like a genuine thing. And that actually made me tear up. And then I was so sad that it couldn't. I thought at that point, like they were like, okay, let's look at what's more important.
Yeah. I think that was the moment, and when that fell through,
it's
it
like,
was just gone.
Where are we gonna? I mean, I don't know. Do you think Meredith should forgive Lisa?
Yeah, that's a hard question because yes, I do, because I like Meredith and Lisa and I want them to be friends. But that's a hard thing rattling around in your head to overcome. Like, I wish that Lisa had jumped on it more quickly and really, really apologized to Meredith about it.
See, I think and I guess this is all just through my lens. I feel like Meredith and Lisa could make up more so than Heather and Whitney.
Yes, I do agree with that.
Because I feel like the hurt wasn't as... I mean, it was there, but it wasn't...
Yeah.
I mean, I think Lisa said bad stuff, but it wasn't really like stuff about her character.
Right.
It was more kind of just like insulting her.
And I think like Heather said to Lisa, like the reason she's so upset is you like offended her family and stuff. It's like maybe if Lisa could find a way to apologize to like everyone in Meredith's life and kind of bring it back together. And this maybe is one of those things that like time will heal a little bit. I also wonder, like, so with Jen Shah gone next season, because that's who Meredith really hung out with and filmed with this season, will she be really looking for someone to film with? Like, she can't pick Whitney because Whitney's tied to Lisa. So maybe it'll just be she and Heather. But it opens the door, although if Mary Cosby comes back.
Oh, because she was friends with Mary.
She was friends with Mary. But I was hoping maybe that might open the door for she and Lisa to have to kind of face the fact there's been some time. And maybe with all the things that have gone on around Jen, it's like, well, Lisa didn't try to sell me some sort of like sketchy business products. Well, Lisa didn't con any old people out of their money.
She can't be that bad.
And maybe if like...
if
she gives her some Vita tequila.
You stand by Jen for those things. Yeah, like... I mean, what do you think would have to happen for Meredith to forgive her?
I feel like time.
Okay.
And I do feel like if... I love Lisa, but I'm not sure her apologies are landing as... It feels a little bit sometimes like there's kind of like a butt hanging in the wing. Like, I'm sorry, but you made fun of my house. Like, I'm sorry, but you did sleep with people.
Yeah. And I feel like Lisa is just a little, I don't know what the word is, like, not airhead. Yeah. Like, you just have to kind of accept that that's the level she's thinking on. I don't know. Like, you just take her for what she is.
Because it's like, I don't think she's self-involved, but I think she just can't process as many things going on at one time as some people can. Like, I think she just kind of focuses on one thing and kind of moves to another thing. And to be fair, I feel like she's kind of been forgiving of a lot of the stuff that other people have done. So maybe she kind of feels like she's owed a little bit of that same...
And this season with all, and we're going to talk on her episode, but she's had to take a lot this season, and she flipped out way less than I think others would have.
So much less. Yeah, she was actually kind of the chill force of the season. It kept being like, there'd be some huge problem, and like Lisa would come in and it would kind of like smooth it over.
And then, I mean, where are Meredith and Heather this season? So Meredith is called in for the black eye.
I feel like Meredith and Heather are mostly separate just because, well, she originally tells, well, I don't know. Does she kind of talk with her about, I feel like they're only thrown together because of their support of Jen.
But so will that pull them together? Are they friends?
I don't know.
Because then at the end, they didn't show like, they showed Lisa talking to Heather about Jen's thing. They
so I
didn't
guess it
show
depends
Meredith.
on where Meredith processes the Jen thing. If she lands in the same space that Heather lands in, then maybe.
Which she will.
She's got to.
Oh,
There's really no other choice.
Yeah, we're not there yet, but we're gonna.
Yeah, we're not. I think that's a good segue.
Yeah.
I was also gonna say that like we love Brooks Marks and like we legitimately adore him.
I know. So yeah,
and so like maybe we'll do a little bonus episode on him.
I really want a Brooks Marks hoodie, the white one with the rainbow stripes down the side.
Yeah, that's the best.
And I tried to buy it, but it's like $80 for a hoodie or something.
Yeah, yeah. Could you bring down some like, or do you have some second hand?
Yeah, like I could probably do $40.
could be like barter.
Yeah.
Oh, we would promo you on your show if you wanted to send us some merch to try on and talk about for our little Brooks Marks segment that we're talking about. Just throwing that out there if anyone knows Brooks. Okay, so we now have I was gonna say Jen versus really Meredith versus her like complete total support of Jen Shah, which is surprising coming into the season.
Weirdest.
Oh wait, speaking of weird, do you know what Jen is doing online right now?
What?
Well, she's not because she's in jail. So she has been sending her journal entries to, I think it's Sharif.
Oh, I saw, yes.
Yes, and he's been posting them on Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's like we're learning things like Jen saved her packet of oatmeal.
Yeah.
And she has a prison friend named Special K, which all I can think of is Can't Hardly Wait. It's like, that's Special K. You don't get to be Special K. But it's so, because I'm reading it, but I feel bad reading it because it's like we shouldn't be giving her more time. Like, I don't think she deserves...
Yes. And I'm such a softie. It made me feel really bad for her because I was like, man, they need to give her more protein in those meals. And like, I don't know. I always
you're concerned about her nutritional.
Like that is all carbs. Her blood sugar will spike.
Her micros and macros are not being taken care of.
It's just stresses me out, guys. But no, I really do. Like, I guess, even though I know she's guilty and she should be in jail, I feel really bad for people in jail. I don't know what's wrong with me.
It's a rough situation.
But even though I think she's probably in like one of those easier jails,
I think she's in a fancier jail. I don't call it I think that's not the right word.
Yeah.
So Meredith has filmed with Jen a ton this season. She's backing her big time. So I think the moment where we first really see that is when they go to leave on the infamous boat ride where all the expensive shoes are like sacrificed to the sea. Because Meredith says like, I fear Jen's at her breaking point. Yeah. And that's kind of where we start to see that. What's interesting, so my husband who claims he doesn't ever pay any attention, but then sometimes pulls out these little things. So he said he felt like when Jen dumps her champagne on Angie K, which we can discuss during Jen, and then the way she loses it on the boat, like David said he thinks it might be sinking into Jen that she's like actually guilty. She might actually have to go to jail and that she's kind of starting to lose it. And as I watched it back, it's like, I can, like, maybe that is kind of the San Diego trip.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's the moment where it's all starting to slip away from her a little bit, which would make sense for, I mean, not that she really needs a reason for acting crazy.
Right, because I was going to say, like, it did surprise me. It's not like, wow, Jen's acting totally crazy. It's
that is so out of her character. Yeah. But, like, would you say that Meredith is backing Jen blindly? Because I think I would.
Yes, and because... let's face it, I do not believe that didn't believe she was guilty. I do not believe that she was withholding judgment.
No.
I just think for whatever, because remember how she was last season? And then there was the whole thing about the suicide attempt where, so.
That's the part I believe. That so like Meredith's nephew had all these mental health issues and like, so Jen also kind of had a suicide attempt this season. So I think that is the most realistic idea of where her backing comes from. Like she doesn't want to see somebody have no support and go over the edge because her nephew felt that way. Yeah. So I get that.
That was the biggest, same here. That was the biggest thing I could see where she's like, you know what?
Yeah.
She really needs support. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I'm not going to push her past her limit.
Yeah.
But she was made the CEO of Fun on the San Diego trip. And I don't know that she did that. Yeah. Unless you think throwing shoes off a boat is fun. Which maybe now that I've seen it, it looks a little fun.
Yeah. You know what it's almost like? Okay. So in my past life as a nurse, when with a patient, your job is and your loyalty is to that patient. It doesn't matter who they are, what they've done. And I almost feel like, when you're there, your job is to help that person and be there for them and do right by them. And I almost kind of feel like that's what Meredith is taking. That's the role she's taking.
Well, and I was trying to think as you said that, I was like, well, she wasn't a nurse, but she was she went to law school and she was a lawyer. And I think often in that role too, you're expected to take care of your client. And it's not your job to ask if they're guilty or not guilty. It's like you are where you are, and that's your job to defend. So maybe that's kind of part of her training too. Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Then on the other hand, it just doesn't seem like
it's weird. The thing is, I didn't see this coming, and I don't understand why she's so loyal. I mean, I guess what we just said about not pushing her over the edge, but a lot of times during the season, I was like, what dirt does she have on Meredith? Like, it's just. It's not even a level of like, look, I can support you, but maybe like tone it down a notch. Like she just doesn't want to say anything against Jen.
Yeah. This was one where I was kind of like, does she have dirt on Meredith?
I know. Because it's just, it's just really weird.
Well, didn't they say, oh no, that was Lisa. Never mind.
When she says like, she admits so there's like a People magazine article and she says like in December, and she said that she was very shocked when Jen pled guilty. But that she doesn't want to ask her for details about the case. And what she said is, Meredith said, and this is in the People magazine article, she said she really can't talk about any of the reasoning behind why she went down that path, nor would I ask her, because I don't want to implicate myself in a federal investigation. Contrary to what everyone else thinks, it's not really my vibe. So I don't really understand how we got to where we are right now. And eventually I hope I do understand.
That doesn't ring true.
But that's such a legal answer. It kind of feels like I don't want to get sued.
I don't want to implicate myself in a federal by asking her a question. Mm-hmm. Like that's not.
Yeah,
I think it's almost like she doesn't want to know. If she hears that she's guilty, then she has to respond and be like, "Oh, you're guilty."
It's one of those like I'd rather just not know. Yeah. I did think, and I thought it was super interesting that the two people that went to New York with Jen were Meredith and Heather. And they were there when she entered the plea. Yeah. And it was kind of awkward because was it Seth who asked them, like, have you asked her if she did it? And they're all kind of, no. Not going down that road. Like, and Meredith is like the second to see the black eye. So she's in with Heather and Jen. There is this part where she says, like, I think we all know things from informants, like in air quotes.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Dana?
Yeah.
Dana was mentioning the informants. She's like, but we don't bring up stuff that threatens her freedom. So again, it's like you're agreeing with Dana, but you're like, we don't talk about Bruno.
Don't you dare
we have
bring
kids,
that song up. So. I hate that song.
It's like all we heard last summer. All right. Well, you could check in on our poll on Instagram or on Twitter. So we still want to know if you'd like us to do Potomac, Miami, or Ultimate Girls Trip next. And that's for both RH_on_RH. All right. I guess there's really not much more to say except for send us Brooks Marks merch.
Please. The one with the white one.
The rainbow one. Sending those vibes out to the universe.
I have spent money. I bought a Brooks Marks mask.
Yes.
Too.
We will tell that story in our Brooks Marks episode.
So we did support you financially.
Yes, we did.
$17.
At the level we were.
Whatever you can afford, send now.
Help support our dream of buying. All right. We'll see you soon.
All right, bye. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed our episode, please subscribe. And if you'd like to help support us, please share this podcast with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and a review. Thanks again, and remember to stay out of the shade.